Gaming community, what is going on? Now, it's obvious that this channel is not a news channel, it's not a political channel. I've uploaded a couple videos of my views on certain things, but not like everything. I like to keep it that if you want to talk to me about something, come directly to me and we can have a discussion if it bothers you so much. So, with that being said, sometimes I do come out of my channel's, I guess, narrative and I want to speak out about something. I did that about George Floyd and I still have, very strong feelings about what happened there. Police reform and a lot of that's happening right now. And I don't really feel a need to constantly touch on it because a lot of that is actually being processed. And now I'm on the phase that I think a lot of people should be, and that's learning, educating themselves. I think that a lot of the world is messed up right now because, at least in that issue, because a lot of people don't educate themselves. And there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know going forward. And that's just me trying to say, like, we need to do better at learning about as much as we can about other people, other people's struggles, other people's mistakes, other people's successes. All that, it all comes in a full circle. So when I look at this stuff that's happening in the Smash community, right? And I just recently saw that Byron, aka Reckful, has committed suicide. It really sucks. I mean, obviously it sucks. It's not like it's a good thing when you hear all these allegations, people left and right getting in protected spaces, right? And then you have a separate incident in which a person felt that they didn't want to be bothered with anything left in the world anymore. Some really sad stuff. And of course, same thing, like anytime I've ever do something that's not within my channel regimen or anything like that, I don't monetize the video. It's just me talking. I don't want, me talking about an issue that I don't want to be part of my income, if that makes sense. I don't want this to be part of my income. I just wanted to be as a me using my platform to speak out about something. When it comes to the Smash allegations, whether they are true or not, because not every allegation that's brought up is going to be true. Some of the people have admitted to the things that have been said about them. All in all, I think at the end of the day, what needs to happen, I think that important to know that these things are allegations, that not all of them are going to come out to be true. Some of them are going to be slightly embellished, as in some parts of it might be true, but then like maybe the ending part isn't, and things of that nature. Some people have actually came out and admitted that some of this stuff has happened, and some people are going to refute what happened, and then you have to come up with your own decision on whether or not you believe the person that is deemed as the victim or the person that is, being accused. So even with all that being said, I'm just gonna go straight out with it. Is that the fact that those situations can happen? Like, you just take out the whole aspect of whether or not it actually did happen. The possibility for it to happen is bad in and of itself. That you have so many minors, you have people with multiple different objectives, I should say. Some people are going there just to play. Some people are going to go there to find a girl. Some people are gonna go there to find a boy, and I don't mean girl and boy as someone that's young, but like some people know that, hey, I'm gonna find someone of like-minded. I can, maybe start dating. I remember, I think that I remember a specific situation, but every time a girl pops up on a stream, like on Twitch, people are like, oh, look at that girl, look at that girl. And if you would have saw that that was in your local scene, you might want to go to that. Maybe you can go talk to that girl, or something of that nature. And I'm speaking mostly for the men, and obviously for gay men as well. They might like, oh, that's a gay player, like let me go do that. But a lot of this stuff just seems like a lot of lack of supervision, a lot of fear, people being afraid to speak out, even though I still find that not that I find that difficult, it's understandable, but it does suck that people still, even in 2020, feel fearful. I mean, some of these accusations are from years ago, right? But they feel fearful of speaking out when a lot of it is beneficial to them. Beneficial as in, like, most people will take their word for it. And still, because the quicker you do stuff like this, the easier it is to find evidence, the easier it is to get these people, the proper police reports. I think this is the biggest thing that I see in the Smash community is and also, sorry, not even just to blame the Smash, when I see this in gaming in general, is that accusations of these kinds come out, and I don't think these people get arrested. I don't think these people get like put up as sexual offenders, like sex offenders or pedophiles. I think that like a lot of things get slung over the social media, but nothing actually gets pinned down by law. And I think that that's one of the biggest issues that I think that they need to fix and start to be able to weed out people. There might even be predators that are going to these events, and I don't think they check. They just probably take the entry fee money, they take the tournament fee money, and they're like, all right, whatever. And these are just the people that are speaking out. These are the people that have social media platforms. Imagine the people that just go, like when I would go to tournaments, there were tons of people that weren't famous or had a Twitter handle or anything like that. So what about those people that just had to deal with it, or are still in that awkward place and don't even know that there's people speaking out right now on Twitter? Because most likely on Twitch, there probably won't be too many people speaking out about that, and you have to be there for the time of the stream. There's going to be a YouTube videos like this that's going to speak on it, and but you know, might not be the exact title because I don't want to rob away or come off as I'm trying to benefit from the situation by putting it in my title. And a lot of people say that when you put like George Floyd in there, when Etika passed away, if you put Etika in your title or in your thumbnail, people said, you know, oh, you're trying to profit, you know, off of that. And so some people don't even want to address that. Some channels, their whole thing is based off of that drama, crazy situations like this. This isn't even drama. A lot of this is not drama. That's the thing that people need to understand. This is not drama. These are situations that need to be talked about, need to be brought up to the light. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's just, I mean, it's hard to keep up. It just, if you just type in a lot of these accusations, sexual assaults, grooming, pedophilia, I think pedophilia is the technical term for it, but people being pedophiles, I don't know if that means the same thing, because you know, sometimes the definition means something else. But it just, you see and hear all this stuff, and you can only just be like, yo, what is going on? Where's the regulations? And I think that's the same thing what people have, not to be too political, but with the police. And you see a lot of people that have bad issues with the police, and they're like, yo, the police need to change. You know, we need to change it. And I think most people agree to that. And then you see people trying to come up with a solution, and some people liking some of the solutions, some people not. And I think that that's what's going to happen in the Smash community right now, because they're the bigger target of it right now. I think that there's probably other games and other tournaments that probably have a similar issue, just not being lit up on fire right now. We have to, you know, hold these people accountable. And I think it's time, if especially if these people aren't even getting arrested, the worst that they're getting is their social media's accounts shut down. Some of them, as in like Nairo, getting like they're getting dropped from their things. That's more career bending, more financial issues that they're gonna have to incur, rightfully so, if those things are true, right? In that same respect, is that I hope that if those things are not true, that he gets everything back. Again, a lot of this stuff is allegations. I don't think that at this current moment, at the current moment of my recording, you know, Nairo hasn't made a statement on his allegations and stuff like that. So a lot of it's just based on, I think it is Captain Zach that is made allegations against him. People are believing him, and everything else is like, we don't know. So every allegation that's out there, I hope I would like for those people to come out and speak and say what they did wrong, and start to have some remorse for the decisions, especially when these people are actual victims and they are been dealing with this and they didn't know how to come forward. We need to have a place for these people that they can do this, so we can start correcting issues. That's the worst part about a lot of these things, where there's abuse and there's harassment, and you know, these people can't speak up. And when they do speak up, it's like nothing happens, because there's so much, no, I don't believe you. And that's why my point is that even if you don't believe that these things happen specifically to those people, or is it possible that it can happen? Okay, so if there's a possibility, let's work on making it better, especially for in again the puppy situation with Senpai. Like if there is a way, there's a 14-year-old kid that's going around to tournaments, and you know, where is the supervision? You know, yes, they can exchange numbers, and a lot of that probably didn't happen at a tournament, but they met in a tournament, and there should be someone that is, you know, being mindful of, you know, who the minors are talking to, and you know, things of that nature. I think that there should be something of that nature, because if you're holding an event and the only thing people are probably worried about is, you know, whether or not fights probably break out, you know, if the tournament is run well, but there's people, there's hotels, and I've seen crazy accusations throughout the years, not just the ones that are coming out public now, of like, this person did this to this person touched me in this hotel, this person, you know, a lot of rape accusations. And it's just like, Is it true? Were you drunk? Do you just, because that's also true too. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Sometimes people have, regret. They just got drunk, made a bad decision, and then they regret it, and then like they don't like what it is. That's kind of what people are saying about the, I think her name is K Dominant situation. It's like, oh, she got drunk, made a regretful decision. It's not D1's fault, or is it his fault? Two people got drunk and made a bad decision. Or I know D1, I read his whole response, and he's trying to say like, hey, I blacked out too. But, where does that lie? Why are people drinking to that extent? And I mean, that's not really a gaming issue, but like, we have to hold a lot of people accountable, not just the two direct individuals, but that everyone around them needs to be held accountable. You hear her story, and it's like she was drunk, and then she pretty much walked away with another guy and blacked out. How is most people in at least in my society, or at least around me, if you leave someone that's super drunk and they leave to go anywhere, not that it's your fault that something bad happens to them, but you're really bad. Like, how did you let that happen? How did you let one of your friends go away in a neighbored? I don't know how to say it properly, but in a drunken state, you can't. What? That's why they'll have the whole thing about a designated driver, things of that nature. Like, there's someone to protect the people that are going to pretty much not be able to protect and defend themselves. And of course, there's lapse of judgment, but that's what we need to talk about. Lapse of judgment. Okay, so let's start having people at these events in these hotels that, and I'm not saying like police officers or like security guards. I'm not saying to have security guards giving these people a bedtime and seeing how much liquor that they're drinking. I'm talking about the community itself needs to start, hey man, let's not have like 15 billion bottles of alcohol. And even some people saying like the minors again are in these same rooms as the adults, and they might be drinking too, especially if there's like spiked drinks and stuff like that. And like I said, everyone's probably not watching over everybody. Or sometimes they just don't care. They think it's cool. Same thing with the puppy situation. People think that it's cool that, that a 14-year-old is having sex with a 20-something-year-old just because, she looks good. It's nuts. It's crazy when you see that. And it's like, I can only imagine if there's any more of that going on with the females that do go into the scene, and if they feel like going after males, whether they're of age or not, that they probably might have a similar situation, and they probably didn't feel like speaking out because that's been a large thing about males being pressured into situations that they can't speak out because most people are gonna be like, yo, bro, you're lucky she look good. A lot of things got to change, man. A lot of things got to change, and I for one hope so, because I'm actually a really big advocate in gaming. I want gaming to be big and huge, just like sports are. I want that to be one of the biggest striving things, because I've been gaming all my life. So I loved it when Twitch came about, when YouTube comes out, and there's so much gaming, there's so much focus on gaming now, there's so much money in it, there's so much promise in it. I want the fighting game community people and Smash, and not that they're separate, don't fucking do that to me, but Smash players, fighting game community players, I want them to make millions and millions of dollars, the same way that the League of Legends people are doing. But stuff like this is gonna hold us back, and it's we need to nip this in the butt and really start making some proper precautions to prevent that from happening. And I'm talking about possibly, like they said, minors with minors in these hotel rooms, or maybe do have a guardian in one of these rooms, but someone that's trusted. But again, that's hard too, because some of these people are trusted leaders of the community, and they have allegations against them. Same thing with, what is Evo? Mr. Wizard has allegations against him. That's Evo. So Evo was like one of the biggest events for gaming, especially for fighting game community, and you got corruption there. It's like you can't win. So I'm hoping that they start changing, and I want to know what you guys think about it, about them changing some stuff. What do you guys suggest they can do when you have open tournaments? These are not like invitationals. These are, come to my house right now. We're gonna, as many people as you can bring. We're gonna do $5 door fee, $5 entry into the tournament. come one, come all. How do you stop that from being a predatory situation? And same thing with the bigger tournaments. The same thing. It's just a bigger venue instead of a house or a mom and pop shop. We have to do something. We have to do something, and this is for all communities, because the likelihood is that if one community fails and those people aren't outed, they'll just go to another games community, especially if they're getting away with it. Like, oh, Smash stopped having tournaments. Oh, I'll just go Dragon Ball Z. I'll just go to Street Fighter. I honestly think a lot of these people need to be arrested or somewhat charged. The same way that if a basketball player, if LeBron James or any basketball player right now were to be held up on allegations, held up on accusations, that wouldn't slide in the least bit. That would be fines out the ass. But for some reason in the gaming community, if you get held up on stuff, you just kind of lose your accounts. That's all that happens. You can't go on social media for a little bit. And that's also what I'm talking about with the Pokemon guy. I forgot what his name, King Nappy, I think it was. Bunch of allegations, disappeared for a while, comes right back, and no one gives a fuck. It's crazy. That's Pokemon community. You know, every game community, there's so many game communities that have these issues. We all need to come together, start outing these people, and I think getting them charged. If they are found to be guilty, get them charged. Now, the other situation I wanted to touch on is breaking news. It's now Byron is someone that I only know through Becca. I've known Becca for when she was in college, and not personally. I've watched her stream since she was in college. I think I've known Becca or been in and out of her streams for I don't even know how many years now. It's ridiculous. So I mean, she's dated several people since then. I remember she dated Trick. I feel like she dated one other person. Well, she dated someone before that, then dated Trick, then what was it? I forgot the guy's name. But then dated Trick, and then dated I think Byron was after that. You know, years apart, not consecutively. So that's the only way I know of him, because I've been following Becca for so long, and then eventually I saw Byron and got to see him. Obviously, you know, in most cases when these things happen, good guy. I definitely thought that he was hurt when they had broken up. I definitely sensed that a little bit myself. But that's no cause for concern on a normal case basis. You break up with someone you love very dearly. You don't bounce back 100%. Some people take a week to heal, month to heal, years. You know, it's not black and white. You don't have to it's not like when you're going to get a degree and it's gonna take 4 years to get that degree. It's oh, you broke up with your girlfriend. Oh, that's gonna take a couple years. I feel like he was definitely dealing with that still at the end there. I think that for a person in my eyes that was so successful, I think he had a very high Twitch channel. That means he's making decent money. I'm pretty sure he probably had a YouTube channel. I'm not exactly sure. He probably had other investments. I remember him speaking off stuff briefly in the streams and the videos that I watched. He seemed like a happy guy, but at the same time, you can tell that there was some sad stuff. I remember seeing some streams where he'd had to end the streams because his chat was upsetting him, if he made bad plays, and a lot of people don't think that weighs in. And I can tell you guys right now, seeing negative comments on my YouTube, it affects you, bro. Whether or not, and I said to say this last time with Etika, like people don't understand that when you put yourself out there as a public figure, we prepare ourselves the best that we can to prevent ourselves from going into the deep end. Because when you have so much focused negativity towards you, it will always outshine the positivity. Because the reason why is because the positivity seems biased after a while. You have people that are just biased to you, and it comes off like people that are being negative or being real. They're being more genuine with their feelings. And I feel like that's why over time, after getting so many people to tell you that you're great, you're awesome, you're cool, and you just get numb to it. You're like, well, I know I'm good. I have to have some faults, right? I'm not perfect. I feel like that's where it comes from. I'm not perfect. And then when you hear these people talk about your imperfections, it drills a hole in you. And it almost comes off as damn, is that what it's been the whole time and I was just blind to it? Was I just being ignorant? That's how it comes off to me. When I get negative comments, when I used to have people come and tell me, when I would post on Reddit and people would be like, you should just quit. You're a terrible YouTuber. Why are you bothering? And then all of a sudden, You know, I just kept it and stuck to it. Now, could I have stopped there? Absolutely. And that's the same thing that I think that when people commit suicide, apparently, because I think that it's assumed that he committed suicide. I don't think they're suggesting foul play here. So again, I'm just, if this is another suicide, this is why I'm making the video, is that I feel like that's what happens, is that people can only take so much of negative stuff. And if you got to think about everything that's going on right now, you have the police brutality movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, you have coronavirus at the same time, you have people being affected by both of these things on multitudes of level. You have a person's individual feelings also being put into the mix, and you have a concoction that is very difficult to resist going into the deep end. And I mean, like, if you are having any type of struggles mentally right now, it's not even like wow, you're happy, like it's almost would be surprised to find someone that is just like genuinely happy with everything that's going on right now. I mean, there's some victories, there's some successes, but there's a lot of depressing shit right now that people have to pretty much wade through in order to smile, in order to have a happy time. And some people are going to succumb. I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, I have not read anything, this is me hearsay pretty much, that there has been some suicides, or probably a decent amount of them, due to, you know, people being stuck inside and, you know, unable to actually reach out. I know that there were some people that have mental illnesses that actually cope through being around people, that all of a sudden that they're not able to be around people, that they have to stay in by themselves if they lived by themselves before this. And then all of a sudden they're just stuck. And that was a big blow for some people, you know, like I wouldn't be surprised that could have happened to him. It was confirmed from his roommate though. So that means he had a roommate, but even still doesn't mean that, you know how they always say, like, you can be in a room full of people and still feel alone. So, you know, even though he lived with someone, he could have still felt that the world was all against him. And the reason why I'm just bringing this up at the end is because a lot of the stuff that I mentioned in the first part is going to also contribute to the second part. These people are having some stuff said about them. And like I said, whether it's true or not, I think it's better if they come out so we can deal with it. People can talk to them. They can get the punishment they deserve, or they can get the name clearing. I don't know a proper way of saying it. The name clearing that they deserve. And we can start to help those people get out of those situations. And especially if it comes out that those allegations are true, we need to help those victims as well, because they're going to need to get through this, because they've been hiding this stuff for so long. You know, they're going to need help too. And for the people that are reading this stuff and just thinking that, yo, my God, what's the point of being alive anymore? My favorite community is going down the shitter. Should I even go out to a tournament again? Should I even invest time in the stuff that I like, because people are just ruining all over the place? You know, a lot of people need help. And I realize that no matter what you do, it always comes back to you. You got to find the strength to persevere through it yourself. But, you know, reach out to people. A lot of people that are depressed don't, because, you know, why the fuck would you do that? You're already feeling sad and you're feeling bad. The next thing you're going to be like, you know what? I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling bad. Let me go tell everyone about my problems. That very likely doesn't happen. Usually they're just going to sit on it. My thing that I always said is that you can try to reach out to everybody and just, you know, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? But that person's most likely going to lie to you. Most of them will. I think instead, just be prepared that if that person decides to open up, be there the best that you can. And most importantly, if you see signs, that, I think specifically, that's when you should be more aggressive. You know, talk to that person. Hey man, I noticed that you've been different. I noticed that this has changed. You know, what can I do, man? You want to take this? Do you need money? You want to call out of work, but you can't afford to? I'll pay for some of your fees, not fees. I'll pay for I'll pay for your breakfast or lunch or whatever like that, so you can cut out of work and not have to worry about the money. You know, stuff like that. Like, sometimes it's the smaller things. It's actually not sometimes. It's always the smaller things that matter in the end. Most importantly, to the people that are sub to my channel, the people that might find this video, please, be careful, be mindful, be forgiving, and just be honest. So much dishonesty in this world. And just to finish off the video and wrap everything up, again, If you've been accused of something and it's true, please just come forward. If you are not guilty, please come forward and say that you're not guilty. Don't leave it up to these people. Legal action is necessary, I think, in some cases, and I know when legal action is advised that they have to keep silent, but please say that that's why you're keeping silent, that you're taking legal actions for like defamation of character or something of that nature. Please pay attention to the people around you as far as their mental condition. If they move indifferent, if they're doing stuff weirdly, be mindful of that. I've watched a ton of like murder mysteries, cold cases, and this is obviously Byron, like I said, is most likely committed suicide. But a lot of the stuff that these people that switch once it goes off and they do something, sometimes it's to themselves, sometimes it's to other people. I think that when that happens, it's because of just a pile of shit. It's always not something that happened within that instant. Like it's usually not one thing. It's very rare that one thing triggers someone to harm themselves or others. It's normally a slew of things. And that also goes down to those people that are preying on people as well. It's always a slew of things like, oh, it happened to me when I was young. I did it to someone else. My father left me. I never had a father figure. I never had a mother figure. I never had this. I never had that. And a lot of these things manifest and it goes unchecked. We need to start finding these things out the best that we can. Start paying attention to how people move. And that's pretty much all I got to say. No intro, no outro. Please be safe.